Hi, and welcome to the Trade Ideas Trading Room recap for Friday, March the 27th. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the room. This is the address to get into the room, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. Quite a few trades actually for a Friday. It was actually fairly hectic. One really nice one, and which encompassed a few elements that brought it all together and turned it into a really nice trade. But let's take a look at the first one I did today, and that was Carnival Corporation, and this had earnings. Here's where the earnings spike happened. Right here, this is the pre-market actually, and they released the earnings. I think it was around 8:30 or so, and it just completely spiked up. And so here's where the market opened. This is 9:30 right there. So um, definitely had to watch this one, but you can see, it was rather hectic. Here are these long tails. Still trying to struggle to figure out what was going to happen with it. And it actually came here in I think it came here in my custom setup right here at 46.94 at 9:34. And this is again, this setup is something that I used. It's a momentum plays both for the short and the long side. So I took a look at this one and 46.94, and I think it popped up immediately right here was probably that area, but I watched it go down, and then when it recovered the whole number at 47, I took the trade right here at 47.15, and it zoomed up. I took out some right here at 47.58, and unfortunately, it just didn't last. And I exited the last bit here at 47.27 for a small gain on the second half. But not a bad trade in that it was very quick, but a little bit disappointing. I was really hoping to get a really strong run in it, but it just didn't happen. The next one was a little loss, I think, on the ALGN. And the ALGN, this came from, let's see, yeah, this would have appeared on my weak stocks top list, but it's not there now because it is moved up, and unfortunately I have missed all this. But try to get in here at on this all these down candles. Actually, what am I saying? It was on my bouncers. I thought it was on here, so it was on the bouncers at 53.19 and tried to get in here 53.25. I watched, you see this tail, I thought was beautiful right there, that little tail that you can see in the buyers took over. And so it looked like it was going to have a good move, but it just didn't do it. And I exited the trade at 53.12, so I was in at 53.25 and I was out at 53.12. And it really collapsed after that. So at that point I was quite happy about about being out of it. And I missed this move here, though. I suppose if I had been a little more diligent and it had, broken above this right there, taken the trade right here would have been a very nice trade to have done. But, I can't watch them all, unfortunately. But here is my trade of the day, really, GLOB. Um, this was an interesting one because I saw it in the pre-market. It was one of those ones that was up in the pre-market. Here's where it closed yesterday at 8:18, around 1853, and here is in the pre-market, and it's kind of spotty looking. It's not certainly not a nice chart pattern, but notice that it got as high as 1945, so almost a dollar. But what really got me was the fact that it had traded 65,000 shares in the pre-market. And for this stock, that was about 50% of what it normally does all day. So something was definitely up about this stock. And so when I took a look at the daily on it, you can see here, here's today's candle. Now, obviously, a huge, huge volume spike at 2.3 million. Still an hour and 10 minutes left in the market. But here's yesterday's volume, and it's not that it is huge. It's about 356,000. But look at the previous days. So all of a sudden, there was a nice jump right here, and then again, looking in the pre-market, there was all this activity in the pre-market based on volume. So I thought, okay, this has to be watched. Now, I probably right here, it would have been a great entry. And I know that there were people in the room that took it right there. I didn't take it right here, but on my custom, right here, you see it says 1985. And again, this is a momentum play, so I decided, okay, I'm going to take the trade. I didn't get in at 1985. I got in at 1991, and it really took off after that. It was really it was really great to see. Um, I exited some right here at 19. It's hard to see, but that's 1943 right there. Held on through all this. And, if you've seen the videos before, you know that, this is what I do. If I take some out here, then I don't mind a lot of this action where it comes down. I almost got back down to 20 and it looked, possibly could have got through. If it broken through 20, I would definitely out my last portion. But I was able to hold on and got a little excited here. I thought, I was really trying to get $1 on this and I needed a bid. What did I need? A bid of 2091 and didn't get it, pulled back, held this area, but I said in the room that if it broke down through 2050 that I was probably going to get out, and that's exactly what I did. Got out here at 2045, and then it proceeded to go right back up, and it's sitting in this sitting around 2076 right now. I'm probably going to watch this next week. If it can break through, if the volume continues and it can break through 21, it may be a great little continuation play. So we'll have to see. Excuse me. I did a reboot of Trade Ideas. Oh no, actually, I modified this one. I added a column. When you do that, you lose. Well, let's just do the history because there are only two. So we had Juno and Isis, and Juno came in at 56.07. And again, this is the just to show you this. This is the long 30-minute opening range break. So in other words, these these get triggered when the top of the 30-minute opening range gets broken. So Juno at 56.07. Let me just bring up Juno. I guess it broke. Yeah. Well, there it is. There's your right around here is when I received the alert. But you see what happened is that this just exploded. I had no chance of getting in. And again, this is one of those biotechs that really, really move and jump around, very whippy. So there's no way I could get in. But I decided to watch it. And, you've got a red candle here. And then look, it broke all the way down here, but then the buyers took over and started driving it up. So I decided to take this trade right here at 56.60. Not many shares because again, it was very whippy. I sold some here at 56.93. I was really hoping, of course, that it would break through 57 and just run. This one, if you follow these bios at all, this was one that did things like that in multiple days. But on this action here, I decided to get out and basically sold at my buy. So didn't really do very much. It just jogged around here, and yes, it got up here, but this would have been a difficult hold. I mean, unless you're just thinking of swinging it off that opening 30-minute range break, then pretty tough to hold it. ISIS, I think. Let's see what ISIS has done. ISIS, the alert was at 63.79, so it got as high as 64.42 from the alert. So it would have been okay, but again, another one of these biotechs that really jump around a lot. And I had a couple other small trades. NSR was one that came from my best 10 list. You notice here that this is the only one in blue, and I've color coded it so that the line will turn blue when the stock breaks above the previous day's high. And this is one of the color coding features that are in Trade Ideas. Actually, we have a question and answer period every Wednesday now at 1:30, 4:30 Eastern time. And this was one of the topics that was covered, how to use the color coding feature in Trade Ideas. So very handy to have because it's highly visual. I just sort of wait for when it turns blue, and then I get very interested to see what's happening. This one is just the reverse. This color means it is below yesterday's low. So anyway, bottom line is that I took the trade right here. And, in this action right here, I thought it looked pretty good. Took the trade at 24.21. Pieced out, looks like I almost got the high, 24.41 for 20 cents, and then exited on when it was coming down at 24.28. So, I mean, nothing fantastic, but it didn't hurt me to have this is from my my scanning that I do the evening before. It was a nice little trade to have, and it's probably something I'm going to watch. Though I think there is some resistance around 25. The last one did not work. We'll see if it's how it's yeah did not work. This came from the lifetime high alerts, and boy, I see this one. Oh, this is I missed this one. I think QUNR. And you see Globe here is 2010, so that was a lifetime. QNR 40, and now it's another one at 41. I did end up taking this one at HXL, but it just didn't want to move. I took it right here at $50.10. I don't have it marked, but I was out right here at 50.01 on this action. Had a couple of attempts that looked like it was going to pop up. Said in the room though, you see here's the volume right there. The volume was increasing. It just wasn't pushing it up, and that's usually a bad sign. I mean, this was a low volume stock to begin with. It was only trading probably about 320,000 at the time, and so when you see volume coming in and it's not pushing it up, chances are that that's not just not a good sign. Now, deviating a little bit here, I just want to talk very quickly about the odds maker because somebody asked me, we have this, where is my, just one second. So we have this strategy, and this was given to us by Dan. I know I've posted it in the room several times, but this is something that has been optimized using the odds maker. And just to show you what I mean, I'm going to have to put this take this off, but I just want to show you what the equity curve on this one looks like. And let's see, it is right here. So here it is. So here is the strategy, and here is how it's been working. And so obviously this is a great, I mean, let's say you had an account starting with $25,000. It's not great in terms of the winner loser, to be honest. It should be more like 2 to 1 on here, but never mind all that. I suppose what I'm really trying to tell you is that, here's the equity curve, and it's in the positive. And just to quickly tell you, this is the curve. Or the line without commissions factored in. This is with commissions, and this is with slippage. And if you don't know what slippage is just the fact that the computer looks and says, okay, you get an alert at 63.79. So it's assuming you took the trade right there. But if you're say 10 cents later on it, then that is 10 cent slippage. So that's you. And so our odds maker has a factor for that, and that's when, well, here's a 5 cent, but you can put it up to whatever you want. And this is the real world. So you see, as you add the slippage, the equity curve is not going to be as great. But what I'm really trying to tell you here is that, and somebody asked me, okay, what about if we just flip this strategy and we said, okay, instead of the 30-minute range break on the top of the range of the 30-minute, what if we get a breakdown? So in other words, when the stock breaks down below the 30-minute range, what would happen? And so basically all I've done is I've just taken this strategy and flipped it. And so all the filters are essentially, a lot of the filters are going to be the same. But of course, now the trigger is here, a 30-minute range breakdown as opposed to a 30-minute break up. So what happens? Let me just bring in that equity curve. And so you can see that this is a disaster. So there's an interesting way of using the odds maker also. It's not just about finding strategies that work well. It's also keeping you out of strategies that would just be an absolute disaster for you. Because if you took this, if you decided, well, okay, why I want to go short all these, I want to flip it and go short when it breaks down below the 30-minute range using those other filters, would have been a disaster. Now, that's not to say, because here are the filters. So here are all the filters that were used, okay, on the strategy that to break it on the upside. So, this doesn't mean that there's not a series of filters that we could find for an opening range breakdown. I don't have them. You can see that, I mean, the computer trade ideas, I guess we'll call it their AI, their artificial intelligence, has come up with all these filters and all these values. I mean, how could I possibly know, down 0.3 from the open, between 2 cents and $1.42 in the 15-minute range? Of course I didn't. I couldn't know that. No human being could come up with these set of filters and the values. So it's Trade Ideas computer working in the background that is optimized optimize his strategy. So it doesn't mean that they can't find one that would do on the reverse side. But anyway, I just thought I would show you that so that you can see that the power of the odds maker is not just in creating strategies that work, but it's also in keeping you out of strategies that don't work. All right, went on a little bit longer than normal, but let me just bring back the cover page. Again, here's how to get in. Here's the address, and you can log in with your Facebook or your Twitter account. And I hope to see you in the trading room on Monday.